So, Nicci here again with more Aliner Makeover and Repairs. Here is a lesson that I learned. So this is my DIY window blind for the small bubble window. And two things that I learned from this. So I made the track, and that would be this here, out of corner protectors that were 1" by 1", and cut them down to size to fit into this space. So one of the things I learned was this. This is held in by E6000. And even though I had it taped, duct taped, masking taped, everything taped to hold it into place, it actually still slipped overnight because this should have been a little bit more flush to the frame. So that is one thing I learned. The other thing I learned is that this blind, which by the way is cordless, and I'll show you here that all you have to do is lift it up with your fingers. It is a very nice cordless blind. But when I attached it to the inside of the frame here, it actually came with self-adhesive strip. And for a couple of months it actually worked until one morning I came out and it had fallen. So the self-adhesive strip did not work as well as I would have liked. So what I ended up doing is using some magic product I found just at the Walmart in the hardware section called JB Weld. It's a 2-part epoxy that you mix together. It's a 1-minute set and a 1-hour cure time. And I put that on there last night and it seems to be holding in place pretty good. So I also did a custom blind or a DIY blind for the big bubble window in the back, and I'm going to show you that next. This is the product that I was just talking about, the JB Weld 1-minute. So you basically use that plunger. It's got compounds on either side of it. When you plunge it out in equal parts and mix it together, you have about 1.5 minutes of working time. And that's what I used to put in the small bubble window because the self-adhesive strip just wasn't working to hold it in place much more than 2 months. So here is the big bubble window blind, and the company that I bought it from on Amazon actually had a 60-inch width. So I'm going to get a little bit closer to it and show you that it also works. And I did use that JB Weld, especially since it was such a wider, bigger area for it to hold. I knew it wasn't going to last long, so I skipped that step and went right to the JB Weld. So I will get up in here a little bit closer and show you that this here is actually the where the self-adhesive strip was. So I used the JB Weld to attach it to the frame here, and right now it's actually hanging. And I will show you that with just one hand, I can lift it or I can pull it down. There's no cords involved. And the reason it's hanging like that is because I still need to install the track that's going to hold it diagonally into place in its space. And what I did was I actually could not find a 2-inch wide corner protector. Luckily for me, this was one long piece, and it's actually kind of a cardboard paper product, but it's pretty stiff. So I'm squeezing on it and it really doesn't move. But it was a 2-inch wide piece that actually shipped with the blind to protect it during shipping. So what I did was I cut down the one side, and I will be putting it into place with some more JB Weld, just like that. So it'll actually hold it as a track to kind of keep it into the window space. So today's project is this. I've installed these piston lift bed lift kits. So I originally cut my bed platform pieces to the way they originally were, which was with 2 hinges, actually 3 hinges, so that it could fold into a couch in the future if I ever wanted it to. I don't plan on using it in couch mode, but I decided to put the pieces back together as if in the future I might want to use it as a couch. The problem ended up being that I installed it on this and it did not work because the hinge came way beyond the piston kit. So a big portion of the wood was being supported by the hinge and it just wasn't happening. So that was a fail. So what I ended up doing was I had an extra sheet of plywood and I cut it out and just made it one solid piece. So the next part is going to be installing that solid piece of plywood as my bed platform onto this kit. The other thing I wanted to show you is this. I actually had to add extra plywood to have a place to mount this piston kit on, because what was currently installed as part of the Aliner storage system was not going to suffice. When you look on the other side, it's nothing but a piece of wood and laminate. So this side didn't even have any of that, so I installed wood and plywood to mount the piston to. So hopefully this all works, and hopefully I'll be able to show you soon the solid piece of wood and the custom mattress that I made for it.